There are still a ton of people waiting in Oxford to head towards Birmingham and to head towards Manchester. Obviously, we built some new lines to try and deal with this, but it's not really doing all that much because, well, yeah, there's still a ton of people here. And what's also kind of interesting is that there's now a ton of people in Reading that want to go towards Birmingham as well. So in a way, we've improved things. We are making money, but we also have the situation where there's still just so many people trying to get on the high speed. I say high speed, trying to get on HS1. I don't know if I want to do too much about this today, though, because I kind of have some ideas and I'd kind of like to go back to Ireland for a little bit. So naturally, we're going to be starting in Grimsby. Yeah, I know none of what I said makes any sense whatsoever, but this does have a link to what I want to do in Ireland. Specifically, I want to start playing with construction materials again, because if we look at Grimsby, we're not really providing as many construction materials as we could be. If we look at the construction materials plant, it is almost maxed out in terms of production. And the only reason that it isn't is because we're not delivering everything that this quarry is producing. And that's partly because we're using some very, very old trucks in here. These guys are 45 years old. So if we go to this line and we manage these vehicles, of which there are 35, we can swap these guys out for something like the Tarpaulin truck, which gives us a rate now of presumably, almost 1,200. Basically, I can go in here and I can get rid of a bunch of these vehicles until we have a rate that is 800 or just above. And that should max out the bricks production in this area, which is what we're looking for. 832 is totally fine by me. So that's going to max out the deliveries from this quarry going to this construction materials plant. And if we look down here, we do have bricks to city. The demand in Grimsby is currently 134. So if we go into this line, we'll pin this and manage the vehicles, swap these guys out for the 40-ton truck with side stakes. That gives us a rate of 240. I think we can probably get rid of 2 of these guys and bring that down a little bit to 156, which I believe is, perfectly above where we need it to be. I also want to take a moment though and make sure that we are delivering bricks to everywhere that needs them, and it kind of looks like we're not. So I think what we'll do is change the layout of our bricks delivery just a little bit. I think right here would be a good first stop for this. And then I think up here would be a good second stop for this, kind of keeping the trucks away from the main roads just a little bit. So we'll go in, we'll look at this line, we'll manage it. And after the exchange, we want to go here. We want to go here. We don't go to Highfield Road anymore. And that should be pretty good for us. I mean, yes, it puts the trucks on the main road coming back here, but honestly, that's probably fine. That's probably nothing we got to worry about. And honestly, I don't even know. Do we need to upgrade this road? Is it particularly busy? It is a little bit. We probably could do with a few more lanes in here just to make sure that Grimsby is all right. So I think this stretch of road and this stretch of road can be upgraded just a little bit, and that'll hopefully help us out. I want to say this road can be upgraded, this road can be upgraded, and you know what? Maybe the bridge can be upgraded as well. Although I'm slightly tempted to go for something like this just so the bridge stays kind of historical looking. I think that would be kind of cool. Just so it is still an old looking bridge, even though it's just been upgraded in 1998. I think this is pretty good, and I think this will be fine. So hopefully that helps out Grimsby. Hopefully that gives us a little bit more production over here at the construction materials plant. And then just before we move out of here back towards Ireland, what I want to do is take a look at these trains, because these guys in particular are a little bit old. 102, 102 years old. Oh God. Oh no, that's bad. This is also bad, actually. These guys are not making money. That's really, really bad. So this is Liverpool, bricks to city, and Manchester. So the rate on this is 312. If we look at Manchester, the demand is 450. Liverpool is 299. So 450 plus 300, that's 750 for those two places alone, which basically tells me that we cannot make enough bricks from this construction materials plant to supply everywhere that we're trying to supply, because we're trying to supply Grimsby. So if we say 750 plus 120 is 870, plus 140 is 1010. Either way, let's just say 170 from here. What are we looking at in here? 170 in here. Let's just say, so that I don't embarrass myself, that what we need to do is get another construction materials plant up and running to be able to supply all of these places with enough bricks. Now, the problem with that is we have a construction materials plant over here. We have Ulma construction materials plant that we recently shut down. And then we have one way up here, just above Wick. Now, we're not using the Wick plant right now for anything. It's not getting used in the slightest. My problem is that we only have 3 quarries on this map, and 2 of them are next to Sheffield. So obviously we have this one up here that we're using for the Grimsby production. We have one down here that we're not using for anything right now. And then of course we have the one over this way. We have Dundalk Quarry that was providing the Ulma construction materials plant with stone. So what I could do is potentially extend some tracks out of this Sheffield train station. We could load up some stone by truck into that station and bring it north. We could maybe cut into some of these existing tracks a little bit to bring some cargo at least up to like Edinburgh, maybe up to Glasgow. We would have to, yeah, it's not going to be going to Glasgow. This station is not getting extended. We'd bring it to here, I guess. We'll bring it close to Edinburgh. We'll dump it off here, and then we'll put it on trucks that take it up to Wick. That seems silly. That seems like a silly production line to do. I feel like we'd probably just want to do, I feel like we just want to try and bring a train the entire way up there, but maybe that's what we do. Maybe we do need to try and get the Wick place up and running at the very least. But what I'd like to do for now is have a look at these trains, because they could be better and they should be better. Although my concern with doing this is that I don't know if these lines are not making a lot of money. So upgrading these train lines is, I think, a noble idea. But if they're already losing money, I mean, the running costs of this train per year is currently sitting at 1.7 million. This one, which is also not making money, it's losing a ton of money, is 5.5 million. So we would be, you know, the running costs are going to go up by almost 3 times what they currently are, and we're still not, we're already not making money. And I think the reason we're not making money is because production in here isn't maxed out right now. So I might wait to upgrade those trains just until we can see how much brick we're making. If we can max this guy out, I'll be a lot happier with the upgrade. I mean, 86% on the transport right now. These guys are, what are they looking at? 850 in here. So they should be able to move everything. That should increase things quite nicely. And you know, I think I'm also going to go in here and maybe do a little bit of asymmetry just to make it a bit easier for traffic to get through there. And hopefully that helps a little bit. We can also go ahead and upgrade this road just because we can. And I suppose we'll upgrade this road as well just to get all of the sidewalks in here. This could arguably be a roundabout. This is, it's not so busy that I think a roundabout would slow things down, but I think traffic will get through just fine. We have some dedicated turning lanes and stuff like that now, so I think they'll manage. You know, just while we're in the neighborhood, I think it might actually be a really good idea to put another train on the Sheffield Planks to Machines line, because production out of this guy is currently 708, which is pretty substantial. Like that's really good, given that we have 2 of these coming into one plant. Like, just, it's really good production that we have going on here. And this station is routinely full of planks. This guy can move 208 of them. So as expensive as it's going to be, I think another one of these trains is probably a good idea. This line is making a little bit of money, so it will continue to make money. And admittedly, we do still have a ton of planks in here, but machines production just seems to be in a bit of a better spot than it was. So I'm not super worried about that. The London Steel to Machines line is doing amazing things right now. It's making a ton of money with a rate of 436, which we love to see. And you know, that could be better. We could make that considerably better if we wanted to. We have a production in here of 307, 306, whatever it might happen to be. And that's because we're going to be a little bit limited by the amount of coal and steel that we can bring in here. Basically, with one iron mine and one coal mine, production at this steel mill can only ever reach 400. So if we wanted to have this thing start churning out, you know, more than 400 steel, we're going to need to hook in some other mines to make that happen. Now, fortunately, London does have its own coal mine up here, so that makes my life a little bit easier. Also, traffic here is making my life a little bit harder. I don't love that. What are you doing? Tools to city, that's fine. This isn't good. This is, oh, that's a lot of traffic trying to get out of there. That's a lot of traffic getting stuck on that roundabout. We might need to swap this out for something else at some point in the not too distant future, especially because I do want to use this coal mine, and well, I guess it's going to go down through London anyway. So that's not the end of the world. Actually, we can totally make this happen, and I think this is what we're going to do here. I know I said I wanted to get back to Ireland, and I do want to head back that way, and I do want to figure some things out, but I figure while we're here, we might as well just fix some of the industries that we have around here already. So this is going to be set up to bring coal from the, whatever this is, London sidings, using both platforms, please. And we're going to go down to, oh, how do I want to do this? Do I want to use the same depot, or do I want to set up a different depot? Do I want to put them down on this road? I think I'm going to put them down on this road. I think this road makes the most sense. And then what we can do is 2 platforms on either side, and then have these guys just be like super close together, and that should be fine. So we'll have 2 platforms for dropping off the coal, 2 platforms for dropping off the iron. That seems good as far as I'm concerned. We'll smooth that out a little bit. It's a little busy looking, but I can sort of get behind that, and I think that's going to be fine. So we want to come down here to Upper London. We want to say platforms 3 and 4, and we're going to say the only thing you're loading up is going to be coal. And I guess we're going to call this, I don't know what the other lines are called now that I think about it. London Coal to Steel. So these are going to have to be renamed as well. So you need to be renamed London Coal to Steel number 1. And you need to be renamed London Iron to Steel number 1 as well. Because this guy is now going to be Coal to Steel number 2. And that'll be totally fine. That's how we're going to do it. Let's get it recolored to, I mean, we're using blue for pretty much all of these. So I don't remember what shade of blue we're using. Is it that one? It definitely isn't. Is it that one? It is. Yeah, we'll go with that. That should be totally fine. We'll get some vehicles on that guy in just a second, because I need to figure out where the iron is going to be coming from. Now, we have got Brighton iron ore mine down here. We have one over in Reading as well. Do we have any others up this way? We do. We have Cambridge. We have a bunch of them by Cambridge, actually. The only problem with this, again, is traffic coming through here is a bit of a nightmare. So I'm kind of inclined to use the Brighton one. I mean, traffic down here is busy, don't get me wrong, but in this area specifically, it's not too bad. This roundabout isn't too bad. This intersection's not great, but it's not a nightmare either. So I think that's kind of what we're going to go for. I think it is going to be the Brighton iron ore mine. So let's do a little something here to make this make sense and to make sure that traffic isn't a total nightmare coming out of here. I think a little road that does this is going to be a really good idea. And I think at the end of that road, we just put some kind of little platform thing. Maybe the road could be a bit longer, just like a tiny bit longer, so I can put this behind the mine. I think that'd be kind of neat. Although that's really going to do a number on the terrain, isn't it? But that should be all right. We'll go to like here. I think that's fine. Did I even hit that with the right brush? Hold on a second. Did I hit that with, I did hit that with a flatten tool. It doesn't look like I'm flattening the place, but apparently I am. So that's fair enough. We'll go to about here. And is that going to be far enough for one of these guys? It isn't. Good. Okay. In that case, I'm just going to give up on this idea and I'm just going to put it, I don't know, down here. We'll flip it around so they drive in a little bit further, and I'm just going to put it just, I don't know, right here. Should be fine. We're just, just not going to bother with whatever I was trying to do right there. It doesn't matter. It's not important. We'll put some trees around this shortly to hide our crimes as we usually do. And we'll just go in, say new line from here. You're going to be picking up nothing but iron ore, which is right there. You are going to be going to both platforms, of course. And then again, it is over to this new station right here. It is cutting through London in a way that I'm completely fine with. We'll make it that same blue. And it is iron to steel number 2. So that should work out. That should give us a pretty good setup. We just need the rates on both of these lines to essentially be 400 to start with, but it will need to be, well, what does it need to be? Hold on a second. What's the rates on these guys? Because they should be around 800. This one's 800. This one isn't. Is this one not 800 because it gets stuck in traffic? Yeah. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. We do need to figure this out. So how do we want to figure this out is suddenly the question that I have. How many lanes going down here? One going that way. Do we want to do an asymmetrical road on pretty much all of this? Would that be a bit of an idea if we just did something like this, flip it around, this, and flip it around, and this, and this, and then, no, that one doesn't need flipped around. Is that going to help us a little bit? Gives us a little bit more traffic management, gives us a dedicated turning lane right there. Hopefully gets all that traffic through there a little bit quicker. I'm not really too sure if it will, but I'm hopeful. And then my thinking would be, this is already asymmetrical. Yeah, we should be able to make this work. That should hopefully help traffic filter through. I'm not too sure about down here. I don't know that this round, I don't know why this roundabout is backing up, to be totally honest. It doesn't seem busy enough to warrant it backing up the way it is. But I'm not going to stress too much about it. I'm just going to get my new vehicles. We're going to get these lines going and we're going to see what happens. So we have this road depot right here. We want to get ourselves, say, I don't know, 20 of these trucks is what we'll do. And we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll paint those in a nice sort of orangey color. And those are going to be set to go down this way. So we want to put them on iron to steel number 2. These guys go to a very dark gray and they're going on coal to steel number 2. And that should give us some pretty decent production. Let's have a look at what the rates are going to be on these lines. 338. Okay. I can work with that. I think we're going to double the vehicles just to get that up to close to almost 700. It should be close to 700 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 676 is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then clone those. Does that get us close to 800? Does it push us above 800? It gives us 812. So that's perfect. 24 vehicles in that line is pretty solid. In here, we have 637 already. So I'm going to say 2 vehicles should be enough to get us to 764. We'll go for 1 more vehicle and that should push us above 800, which it does. So this thing should start producing like crazy. We are hopefully going to see 800 steel coming out of this at some point, which means these guys will need to be able to move a ton of steel. But for now, we're not going to bother upgrading that because, well, to be honest, we're going to have other problems. We're going to have traffic problems here at some point. So we'll leave it be for now. This is filtering through though, sort of. Oh, there's so much traffic coming through here to try and get out there. That's the problem. It's all of this traffic is using this road to get out instead of this top road. That explains a lot. Suddenly I kind of get it. Okay. Oh, we're going to have to change some of this and just how this is all laid out at some point, because they're all using this road and I don't love that. You know, I'm honestly starting to think it might not be a terrible idea to have London coal to steel number 1 actually go through Ipswich. I'm pretty sure it did go through originally, but we would start to avoid all of the traffic that we're seeing on this road. It's not terrible, admittedly. Like this isn't that bad. but it's probably going to become quite bad. It's probably going to become a bit of a problem if this starts tailing back further, which it's entirely likely that it's going to do. If I sent the traffic through Ipswich and kind of down this main road, I mean, this main road is barely getting used. It's largely being used by my trucks. So I think that's maybe what we're going to do is give that a shot. So if I was to go to this line and I just got rid of those waypoints, I'm curious to see what the game would do. And it does nothing, essentially. It's still kind of determined to send them the way it was sending them. So I guess we can pin this line for a second. We can go to waypoints and we can say one here, one there. We'll manage the line and say that after the transfer, you go here instead. And that's still sort of cutting down this way, which I don't want it to do. I would like them to sort of go this way now. So we'll manage the line again and say, I want you to go here. And then it is going down the main road, which is good. That's what we want to see. So after Ipswich South, I need it to come up to this waypoint, which it's now doing. And that is fantastic. So we'll take out this one. We'll take out this one. We don't really need it. And that should help that traffic along a little bit. It actually gives us a rate now of over 1,000. So that tells me I can go in here and maybe sell, I don't know, 2 of the vehicles to bring that down to 980. We'll sell 2 more to bring that down to 871. We'll sell 1 more to bring that down to 817. And that should keep us pretty good. That should mean that we're avoiding the traffic around this intersection, which is basically what we kind of need to be doing. We'll probably make some slightly better connections between Ipswich and Cambridge at some point, but I think this will do for the time being. We are starting to see some vehicles come through here as well, which is very exciting. This one has a bunch of coal on board, which is great. And so it shouldn't be too long until the Canterbury Steel Mill is really up and running and doing amazing things. So just before we actually do head over to Ireland, I want to take a look at Grimsby because this place is almost maxed out on its production, which is great news. We have a bunch of trains sitting in here that are still not making money. I don't love that they're not making money, but they will fill up faster. And I think that's potentially going to be good for us here, having these guys fill up a little bit faster. Grimsby is getting a little bit more in the way of bricks as well, which is fantastic news. Little bit of traffic in here. I don't love that. I don't love that, but I think we'll be okay. I don't think it's the end of the world if we, oh wait, no, there is actually a decent amount of traffic on that main road. Okay, just before we leave Grimsby, let's make some upgrades to some of these roads and see if this maybe helps us a little bit. This road can go completely. It's completely unnecessary to have those intersections in there. This should be fine though. This should work out. I think that'll be decent, right? We do have people that can kind of go through Grimsby if they want to though. So maybe this gets upgraded as well, just since, you know, it's kind of a main road cutting through the place. That should be fine. I'm relatively sure that'll work. That should give us a little bit in terms of traffic flow, right? I don't think there's enough people in Grimsby to warrant some major changes. It's not a huge town right now, but it might grow to become one now that we're providing more bricks, but we'll give it time. We have other things that we need to do and other things that I want to take a look at. So the Oma Construction Materials Plant, it is, I think, our original industry. I don't know if I can see when this thing was built. If we look at the time scale for this thing, it's only going to give me 50 years. That's interesting. Okay. So here's my thinking. We don't have a ton of money to waste on productions here, but I would like to get this quarry up and running again. I think that's going to be good. And I think that's important that this quarry gets up and running again. So I think what we do is we make some slight changes here. We get rid of this entrance. Although that's no longer going to be connected, isn't it? Yeah, that's not good. Okay. Can I configure you to extend these platforms? Does that now, it does now connect to the quarry. That's good. So that's going to be good for traffic. That's one thing that's important. It takes out the chance of crossing over 2 level crossings, which I think is totally fine. So this thing is connected. I think we need to upgrade this road and take out some of the intersections on this road, because I think there's just a bit too much going on. So when it comes to Oma, let's upgrade this road to have a few more lanes on it. This can go pretty much the entire way up towards that bus station. We can take out this road, and we can maybe take out this road as well. And then we'll connect this little neighborhood, a little something like this, so that everything's still connected in here. It's just not all connected to this one road here. This section of road, I would like to try and redo ever so slightly. I think this entire block of roads can kind of go away. And, I mean, while we're here, let's upgrade this entire thing to have a few more lanes on it, because that's ultimately what I'm wanting to do here is give this all quite a few more lanes for my traffic, my trucks to get through here. So that's a bit of a start. I think this whole mess can kind of go away. This just seems really unnecessary and like something that's an absolute traffic nightmare. So this can all just go. We can connect some of this back together in just a moment. This connection can probably go as well. And some of these other connections down here can go too, just to try and tidy things up. In fact, this entire... Well, no, this stretch of road can probably stay now that I think about it. This one, I think this will be our main connection into Oma from down here. We'll have this one as well. And I want to say we could probably do another one right in here. So let's try bringing this guy through. Let's take out this stretch of road so we can do that again and do it properly. So it's just a nice incline. And this is also going to go because it's a little bit unnecessary. Now, I think what we'll do here is bring a section of road up and around. So up to here and over there is kind of my thinking. I don't love that, but it gives us a connection into that upper part of Oma that we otherwise wouldn't have. And it lets people kind of come off of here and get into these neighborhoods, which I think is good. We do have the main road going through. We have the main road going to the buses, which connects down to here. And obviously we have this little kind of suburb growing over this way. But what I can do is basically lock all of these roads and say that nothing else is going to be attaching to my roads. Nothing else is being built onto these guys. And that's going to make life at least slightly easier for me. And that's kind of all I care about right now. So this entire road here is locked down. This road through the middle is being locked down as well, just because I think it should be. And you know what? This road's going to go just so we have one less intersection in there. I think that's important. This is all locked, which is great. This can all be built off of. I don't want them connecting to any of this though, so that's not going to be happening. And that should make it a bit easier for at least my vehicles to get from the quarry to the construction materials plant, which is good. Although the construction materials plant is probably going to have a pretty substantial rebuild here in just a moment, but I want to do my best to make sure that traffic can get around here in a relatively reasonable way. So we'll put that road back in there because I think it kind of makes sense. This road, I think, even though it's expensive to get rid of, I think we will get rid of it and we'll just rebuild. So it kind of has a nice sort of gradual slope there as well. So it's a little bit neater. I know I said I needed to be careful with my money, but as we know, I'm a filthy stinking liar. So yeah, here we are. All right, so when it comes to the construction materials plant itself, these two stations can go. This road connection here is going right back to about there for now, and this road connection is going right back to, I want to say, about there for the time being. What I want to do is flatten this terrain, and I do need to be careful to not spend literally millions of dollars doing this, but I do want a nice flat canvas to work with here, because we're basically going to rebuild this entire sort of setup in the best way that we possibly can. So this is fine. This works. I want to get myself this road, and I want to go, well, I can't go straight up there. Can I go straight up here? I totally can. So this is perfect. This road is going to be the backbone of everything that I'm trying to do here. So that road's going to exist. This road's going to go away, and this is all going to get flattened a little bit, because my goal is to bring this road down to here, and then I want to use a slightly wider road to go in front of this guy. And using this road on the left means that this is nicely aligned to the front of the construction materials plant. So this is kind of perfect. This works out really, really well for me. What I'm also going to do is circle this thing a little bit. I want to go around the plant as best I possibly can. I don't know if the terrain is perfectly level, but I don't know if it really matters all that much. It probably doesn't. I think we're probably fine to get away with a little bit of an imperfection in here. I don't think it's the end of the world, although I would like this to be nice and close to the facility. So something like that. It really isn't lining up at all, but that's, you know what? It's fine. I can fix that. We have terrain paints and things like that we can use to make this work. So this is good. This is fine. I would like to go to either side of this and do a little bit of asymmetry. So from here, I want to go about 40 meters. And from here, I want to go about 40 meters as well. If I can do that properly, that'd be great. So right to about there. And that seems good. That gives us a dedicated turning lane for all of this. We can do some truck stations. We'll have this one on this side. I suppose we could do it up there as well, but I think we'll go here. We'll do one with platforms on the other side for this end of things. And that way we can have a bunch of platforms set up to bring materials in or take materials out or do whatever we need to do. And I think that's fine. I think we can make that work. I think I'm also going to put a road depot in here somewhere just because we can. I'd be slightly tempted to put it down here, but I think we'll put it, I don't know, up here, I guess, is a totally fine spot for a road depot, just so we can have a little something in here. And also, just because it is slightly annoying me that there's more grass visible on certain sides of this than others, I am going to go in here and just paint a little bit of dirt into some of this, just to hide my crimes, just to get rid of the grass around this thing, so it looks a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I just want it to look like this is actually in the center of this square, which it isn't. It's at an angle, and that's driving me nuts. But you know what? It's probably fine. Now, when it comes to road connections, I think what we'll do is bring something up to about here. And that should be fine. We can then bring it up and around to about here, and that should be totally fine. It's also a country road, so that'll be a little bit faster. And I think what we'll do is all of that can be country roads. I think all of this can be country roads. This is probably fine not being a bunch of country roads. I think maybe we can just upgrade this, though, so that we kind of go... You know, these guys coming in eventually go to 2 lanes. I think that'll be fine. Although I'm kind of wondering if I just did this. That might honestly be... That might be better. Just doing things that way, I think, is going to be a little bit easier for us. But that should let traffic flow through here in a way that sort of makes sense. At least that's what I'm hoping for. As for the connections down here, this one's going to go completely. And I think what we're going to do is hit this with a bit of a smoothing or a flattening brush. We're going to bring this road straight through a little bit, and it's going to sort of snake up this hill and in here is kind of my thinking. So this is going to be a little bit more expensive in terms of flattening, but I think we can get away with it, and I think we'll be okay. So let's bring this out and let's bring this down. And that, I think, is, oh, that's going to be steep. That's going to be so steep. That's actually, you know what? Maybe it isn't. We might be able to get away with this. If I bring this around and do that, it's not what I'm looking for. I was hoping I could get away with it, but apparently not. This, no, that's not going to work either. What if I bring this back? If we just bring this road back ever so slightly, can I get the bend to, oh, there we go. That's not so bad. Well, you know what? That's maybe a little bit steep. That's maybe a little bit steep. Hold on. We might have to redo just a bit more of this road to make this make sense. Let's take you out. Let's take you out and take you out. We'll bring this right back to here. And I think what we'll do is go from this intersection the entire way up to here. And that's still pretty steep, all things considered. That's still kind of rough looking, but I think that's going to be better than what we had. Although I do think we might want to flatten things out just a little bit here for now so that we have a bit more of a gradual move from this intersection. So we'll come straight through here. We can then bring this up to there. And I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I think we can work with that. Let's make sure this is terrain. Let's build this. We're going to have so much smoothing to do to make this look proper and decent, but I love me some terrain editing, even though I keep saying that we can't afford it. I'm going to keep doing it because it just makes things look so much better. And you know, I think this kind of works. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. I think I can work with that. I think I'm also going to go in and take out all of the trees around this facility just so I can really see what I'm working with here in terms of the land, and so that we can decorate it a little bit later, because that's something I'm going to try and not do right now because we don't need to do it right now. What I would like to do right now is figure out, first off, this traffic. There's a little bit more of it trying to get through here than I would like. I think a roundabout here could potentially solve that issue because there's not that much trying to get around. I think we'll give it a shot. Let's try a cheeky little roundabout here and see what it does for us. I don't want to go to quite that size of roundabout. That might even be too big. Can I go down to 20? Is 20 going to be enough? It looks like it will. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if it works. It needs to be there. There is a spot where this is possible. And apparently the game is going to make it really hard for me to find that spot. It's right there is what we're looking for. So sure, we'll build that. We'll take out these parts in the middle. And by the looks of it, we're going to need more lanes around here is what we're going to need. So let's see what we can go for. I think using this 4-lane country road should sort it out, and it should give us dedicated lanes on and off of the roundabout. I think upgrading to this is going to look better as well. And hopefully that works. Hopefully that does what we want it to do. I'm also looking at this and thinking that arguably we could upgrade this entire thing. And I think we'll just upgrade this entire road as well because we can. I think that probably makes sense. We'll upgrade this one too and just see what happens. We should see traffic getting around here though. That should help things out, at least hopefully. Hopefully he's doing a lot of carrying and a lot of lifting in that sentence, but we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get our new line set up though. We'll go ahead from Dundalk Annex. We're going to say you're picking up nothing but stone, and you're going to use both platforms because you totally can. And then you're going all the way up to, I guess here is what you're going to do. You're going to use all available platforms, and that should be fine. Okay, I can work with that. It goes around the roundabout. It follows the road the way I want it to. So road cargo, it is, I guess, OMA. So OMAGH, and it is stone to brick is what we're going to call that one. And that should be fine. We'll make it a nice pink line because I think it always was. I don't really remember, but that's what we're going to go for. And then very, very simply, we'll get ourselves some vehicles up this way, and it is going to be the tarpaulin truck. We'll go for 10 of them because I think that's probably going to be enough. We'll make them sort of a gray color because they're moving stone, and away they go. That's going to be good. I'm hoping for good things out of this. We do need to get some lines set up to move bricks into somewhere like Londonderry, but this is a start. And I say this is a start because there is some work that I want to do in Londonderry before we set up the new brick delivery line. So first things first, this road needs to go away. Second things second, the trams are going away because I think they're just causing problems. I don't think they're not very efficient. They're not making money. So the tram line is gone completely, which means I can now delete all of these stops in here because we just don't need them anymore. This truck stop isn't being used for anything. The tram tracks aren't being used for anything. And this is machines to city. This is being used for something. So let's bulldoze you for now, because I'm going to be making a lot of changes to this space is what I'm going to be doing. I'm also thinking that this space in here is going to be changed up a little bit. This is where we're going to end up spending a lot of money because we're going to be getting rid of a lot of buildings here. But my thought process is relatively simple. I think traffic coming into Londonderry is a bit of a nightmare, and I think it could be better. So how do I want to do this? Do I want to go straight through? I don't necessarily want this connection here, but I do want this road to be relatively level. So for now, I'm going to do this. And then from you, I'm going to do this. So again, we have this nice level connection. This is then coming out. And my thinking is this comes around a little bit. I don't know if that's behaving quite how I'd like it to. We'll bring that down ever so slightly so it's relatively level. And then off of here, we want to connect around like this. So now we have a straight connection across, which I think is important. This entire road can be upgraded to have more lanes on it as well. So we now have a main road that carries the entire way around, and I think that's going to be good. This entire stretch of road is really busy, but I don't think there's too much we can do with it. Also a really weird connection on it right there. I don't know what's going on there, and I don't love it. So I'm going to just very quickly fix whatever mess that is. And then I want to come in here and turn some of this into one-way roads. I think we're going to have a little loop that just goes around here as a means of getting into the city. And I think this is going to be good for us because it's going to just sort of force traffic into one path and kind of down towards this road. I just think this is going to be better for us, to be totally honest with you. I also think we could maybe get away with more lanes in here so that we have 3 lanes coming in on either side here. Only 2 of them are going that way, but that's probably fine. I think that's all right. I think we can get away with that. This road probably doesn't need upgraded, but that's fine as well. I do think I'm going to want to lock a bunch of these roads to make sure that the game doesn't completely mess with what I'm trying to do, which means I might need to make some changes to these roads myself to make sure that the city itself can fill in some of these spaces like this one. So before we do that, all of this kind of needs to go. And this is where a lot of the machines in the city are being demanded from. This is also going to cost me just a ton of money to bulldoze so many buildings. But the road layout here is terrible. And it is causing issues. So this is going to be one of those rare occasions where I'm just going to rebuild basically an entire city. And I don't love doing this, but I think it's going to be for the best. I also think this road could probably be taken out and just turned into like a straight road from here to there. I think we can kind of get away with that. I'm relatively sure. So we'll just go like this, I guess, and that'll be totally fine. We can have stuff build on this side of it as well, which will be kind of cool. So we'll smooth this out a bit just so I can see what I'm working with. I know that this is a big hill in here, so that's going to be a challenge. that's going to be a challenge. I might have overplayed my hand here a little bit, but we'll see what we can do, because we might end up just having to, we might have to get rid of some of this hill is what I'm thinking. There's a definite possibility that some of this hill is going to have to go away, but I'm hoping I can do things like this and just have these nice, straight roads coming through here that are gonna, just be good for the city, right? That's the goal. I don't know how this is gonna connect. Ooh, that's a very steep tunnel. That's a very steep tunnel. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. We might have to come up with a different method here. What if we were to connect this road up to here, and then we sort of bring this road down through the middle and connect it to here? That might be the best thing I could do here to somehow connect this all together in a way that makes sense. I think that looks all right. I mean, yes, we're carving out the mountain, but look, traffic in here has been bad for hundreds of years. I think it's about time I do something about it. So this losing a little bit of the mountain, unfortunately, I think that's just what we're going to have to do here. So can I connect you to here? I totally can. So I'm going to. We will run a road up to here as well, and that seems fine. I'm not too sure we're going to run one down there because I know that's a steep part of the mountain, so we'll just do this instead, and I can work with that. I'm just going to sort of have to ignore so much of the terrain in here to tolerate what I'm doing, but this seems good. I think this seems fine, and I think we can upgrade. Can we not upgrade that road? Oh, that's unfortunate. That is a tram depot, though, so we don't really need it anymore, which means we can kind of just do this and not worry about it. So that works. That gives us a better road layout in here, which is perfect. I want to say this road can go away. I want to say this road can go away. And I want to say this road can go. And this road can go as well. And maybe this one too. I know I'm getting rid of so many little roads in here, but so many of them just feel a little bit unnecessary, you know? Like this road could still exist. We could still have this be a 4-lane road, but now it splits off a little bit better, and that just feels like it makes more sense to me. This little connection here could arguably still be a thing because we already have that intersection, so it might as well be a thing. And it still gives us room for all of those buildings to exist and grow and do their thing. This road, for example, could be sort of a similar story where we bring, you know, this out of here and then around to this intersection that already exists. So again, we're kind of minimizing the number of individual intersections on the main roads. That seems like it makes sense to me. Now, what I am going to have to do is set ownership on a lot of these roads to make sure that the game doesn't completely screw up what I've done, which again is potentially going to cause issues because I don't know what's going to grow where, essentially. So I think this road is going to be mine. These roads in here, I'm not too worried about. If they connect together, that's fine. This road is mine. This road is all mine as well. So this can kind of build stuff if it wants to. This is mine. This can all build if it wants to. This can build if it wants to. We do have issues with this potentially putting... This shouldn't need any roads in here. This shouldn't need any roads in here. I think this will be fine. I think this will be good. Now, what I would like to do, since we had that machines to city line, is I'm going to take a bit of a chance. I'm going to put a truck station here or somewhere in here. I think we'll do one platform on either side. And I don't know where I'm going to build it. I think I'm just going to build it here, just so this thing does have a stop available to it, and we'll see if that area still demands machines once the buildings come back. But at the very least, that does give us a location for that machines delivery, which is good. Now, looking at bricks, there's demand for 168 of them. If we look around, it is a lot of the buildings in this area that want bricks. So how do we want to do this? We have buildings in here. Where did I just place that? I just clicked by accident. Let's get rid of you. We have buildings in here that want them. We have buildings up there that want them. Let's do, I don't want to do a stop on this main road. That seems silly. So we'll do a stop here. We will do a stop in there because I think that'll be fine. We can do a stop over here. We'll do a stop up here, and we'll do one more up there. And we're basically going to have a loop of trucks going around here delivering bricks. And I think that'll be okay. So from here to here, into that space, over to that space, up to that space, and then out to pick them up at Lower Oma. And that should be okay. I think we can make that work. So road cargo, it is Londonderry, and it's bricks to city is what it's going to be. We'll get that in a nice sort of reddish, brickish color. And that seems fine. I think we can work with that. We'll make sure that at Lower Alma, the only thing you're doing is loading up on bricks, and then everywhere else is just unload, which is totally fine. I think we can work with that. We'll make sure that you're not loading up at the Crescent as well, just to be safe. And yeah, that should be okay. That should be some brick delivery going on. We'll get one truck just so the line is technically active. And that should mean that this thing will start producing at some point, and that'll be good. Obviously, a lot of rebuilding to do in here, but I feel confident we'll do it once we start bringing bricks in here. I'm also kind of wondering if we should do a little bit of public transport around here just to, I don't know, ease up on the fact that I have just completely obliterated the city's public transport and just transport in general. Might not be a bad idea. So they'll come out of here. They'll go, I guess, into here. That does give us pretty good coverage across that entire area. So yeah, we'll go to there, we'll go to there, and we'll go to there. We'll have a little stop up here, and then we'll just bring it back along that main road. And that should give us pretty good coverage down that main street at the very least, which is probably for the best. I'm slightly tempted to actually go this way with the buses, just because we can, because we are going to be going for buses. We're not doing trams this time. So yeah, let's give this a shot. It's just going to be a straight sort of loop through the middle of the city, which I think is good. Let's flip you around to platform number 2. And let's make sure that these guys are going to where I want them to go, which it looks like they largely are. So it goes to there, and then it's going to come back. And you know, I know this isn't covering this entire top part of town, but this seems decent for now. This will get people back and forth, which is kind of all I need it to do. So once again, we'll go up this way. We're going to get ourselves some vehicles. We have the Maz 103. We have the Volvo. We have the Bendy bus. I don't think there's going to be enough people on the Bendy bus, so I'm going to go with the cheaper option, which is the Volvo. I'm going to grab 2 of those. We're going to paint them a nice sort of green color, and they can go in the loop and generally do their thing. So hopefully that gets people moving around. Hopefully that reduces traffic down here, which would be ideal. Hopefully my changes to the roads around here do good things for us across the board. We do have a lot of my trucks coming down this way, which is very exciting. We have a bunch of stone in here, which is very exciting as well. Traffic's moving around the roundabout, which is very good news. And I'm just hoping that this thing gets up and running and that we can kind of rebuild this industry for the modern day, because obviously this industry was causing a lot of problems down towards Belfast, which is still crazy with traffic. There's still a lot of traffic coming and going here, but it is a little bit better. I know this doesn't look better, but it is a little bit better. Although there's also just a ridiculous number of people wanting to go around loop number 3 right here. The airport shuttle is not as busy as it used to be, which is fine, but loop number 3 apparently is. That's wow. Yeah, there's a good number of people wanting to get about there. Also a ton of machines. Wait, Liverpool, why are you doing? You know what? I'm not going to ask questions. I don't know what's going on there. I haven't really looked at Belfast in a while. I do know that we have a ton of people wanting to go to London, and that this line is making money. So I'm going to take a chance at doing something dumb by buying 2 more aircraft for that line. Belfast to Glasgow, I think we'll put 1 more plane on that line because it is just about making money, and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping I'm not making stupid decisions here. It's entirely possible that I am, but I think we're doing all right at the same time. We also have these guys, all these Oma to Londonderry buses. They are not very popular. So let's take out like 8 of them just because we can. And I think we maybe upgrade these guys. I think we maybe expand this station as well, because I'm pretty sure there's 3 lines coming in here across 2 platforms. That's not going to be good for anything. So very quickly, we will put another platform over on this side. We could extend it if we wanted to. I don't think we need to. And loop 1 can be on platform 1. This guy can be platform 2. This guy can be platform 3. And that'll just split them up a little bit in a way that I think is going to be good. These guys can move 16 people. I think we manage the vehicles, swap those out for, I want to say the Volvo is what we're going to go for there. Just something a bit more modern, a little bit faster, and obviously cleaner since it's a lot newer. All right, so since it kind of takes forever for new lines to get up and running because of how slow the simulation runs now, I want to come back to Grimsby and just see how things are doing up this way. It does look like we're getting a bunch more bricks in here, which we love to see. Production in here is basically maxed out as well, which we also love to see. These guys are unfortunately still not really making much money. This one apparently is, which is okay. This one is actually apparently making money as well. Otherwise, well, I'd imagine it fluctuates based on the number of deliveries we're making and how often we're making them. But at the very least, we should be seeing more bricks getting loaded onto trains more often. So deliveries should be a bit more frequent, which I think is generally going to be for the best. I am wondering whether or not I want to try and grow Grimsby. There is food demand in here, which could be nice to sort of meet as just a very simple way of making some money. We do have a farm down here, but I don't know if we have anywhere nearby that can actually make food out of that grain. We don't have anywhere. Oh, we do have somewhere up here. This will be good as well. Honestly, getting this up and running, I mean, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, so we would need a lot of grain, but making some food up this way and just bringing it over to like Wick and bringing it down to Glasgow and Edinburgh. We have boats. We have Ayr as well that wants some food. That would be a bit of an option. We have a little farm here as well. We have a little farm here. We could absolutely set up a bunch of boats to, oh, I'm so tempted to do that now. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe that's how we get more boats going around here, because we don't have many of them. And they are very slow, admittedly. They are very slow. And honestly, I think my boat lines down this way are horrendous. Oh no, that one's actually making money. Okay. I wasn't expecting them to be making money, but apparently they are in fact making money. So I was about to just complain about them, but apparently needlessly. The machines one isn't making money, but the other ones are, so it's not all bad. Anyway, my point still stands. I think Grimsby is doing a little bit better for itself, which is great. I do think we might want to consider some changes to this line and maybe some cheaper trains, but it's all right. This is making as much as it can in terms of bricks. So interesting that we've maxed that out. This guy is still making an absolute ton of planks. This line is also not making money, which is really surprising to me, given that we have the two trains going back and forth. I guess maybe they just get stuck in traffic sometimes, because I know there's a lot of trains trying to get in here. There's one of them about to make a delivery. That's not one of them there. Where's the other one? There's the other one. I almost want to say that I want to put another vehicle in that line. Also, that was like $50 million for that extra train. That is ridiculous. If I knew that was going to be $50 million, I wouldn't have bothered. That's bad. That was so expensive. That kind of hurt. Anyway, in other news, I want to look at London. Production in here is currently 504, which is incredible news. We have got some steel sitting in here left over. These guys now need to be able to move more. So let's put 2 more vehicles on this, which brings us up to a rate of 426. We'll do another 2 vehicles, which will bring us up to 511. So now we should be moving just that bit more steel over to the trains, which is absolutely fantastic. We have both of them sitting here, which is certainly something. I mean, I knew this could happen. I knew there would be times that both of the trains would be sitting here. I don't know where the third one is. Is it? It's not on its way, is it? No, I don't think it is. Okay, that's fine. At the very least, we should be able to fill those up quicker as well now, because obviously we're bringing in so much more iron and coal. I'm excited to try and max this thing out. Basically, that's kind of where I'm at. And obviously that has the knock-on effect of going all the way up towards Liverpool and hopefully seeing a lot more machines production, although I'm not too sure when that'll be. Well, actually, there's the other train right there. Are you losing that much money? Oh my God, that line is, wow. Okay. That's not good. That's really not good. We might want to do more platforms in here. We do have the space for it. It might not be a bad idea to expand this guy to give it a few more platforms. Oh, that's maybe going to be a good idea. I don't quite know what way I would do it, because I'd like all of the trains to be able to go to all of the platforms. So it could be slightly tricky to do this, but I think like 2 more platforms could be really good for us in here. And I think that's kind of a thing we're going to do. I think we are going to go just before we wrap things up for today. I would like to get 2 more platforms in here. Well, I say 2 more platforms, 2 more tracks, 1 more platform. We can keep using this one, but I think this is necessary. I think we need, because we're going to have more and more trains coming through here. I think we need the ability for trains to be able to, like, I don't know, unload all the time instead of having to sit in traffic for days on end. So let's bring out some terrain right here. We'll bring it straight across the road as well, so everything's nice and level. I am not sure how I'm going to make this happen, because I mean, this might just need to go for now, to be honest. I think we don't factor in this guy. I don't think we worry about this guy. What I could do, here's the simplest way to do this, would be to have only the plank trains and the machine trains using these top platforms, and then the steel trains using the bottom ones. That really genuinely might just be the simplest thing to do here. And I think honestly, that's kind of what we're going to do. just because I do think that's going to be the only thing that really makes a ton of sense here. So yeah, that's as much as I want to have them all go to all the platforms, I think this is just kind of how we do it. I think this is going to just make my life so much easier. We'll do this. I don't love that they're not the same size, but they're just not going to be, and that's fine. Bring this over as well. You know what? This looks okay. I think I can live with this. We'll do this, and we will do this. And then very simply, I just need to bring you down to there and bring you right up to there. And that should just about solve the issues. The only thing we're going to need to do is look at this line. Could not connect all stations. That should be fine. This is, oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to look at this place specifically and make sure that you are going to platform number 4. And that does solve that issue. If we look at that line specifically, we can now manage it and say that you go to 4 and 3. And that gives us some options where you can drop things off. And that should just help things along a little bit, which is good. Let's do some smoothing right here, just so we hide our crimes. We'll do a little bit of smoothing around here as well. And we'll throw a bunch of trees around this again, just to ever so slightly hide our crimes. All right, so coming back over to the Alma construction materials plant, we do have bricks in here. We do have production in here. It's not a lot. There's not that much going on, but it's a little something, and that makes me kind of happy. We do have some trucks coming in here that don't seem to have all that much stone on board, which isn't great. And this line isn't making money right now because it's not even going to be moving 100 stone currently. But this is up and running, and that's kind of exciting. When it comes to our consumers, we are shipping 54 bricks over to Londonderry, which has a demand of 188. So I figure we could maybe put a few more vehicles on this line just to meet that demand as it comes about. I don't know if we need 5 vehicles though. I think actually we can go down to the 4 right there. 171 is relatively respectable. That should put us in a pretty good spot at some point, and we should see this thing want to upgrade. And as that upgrades, as we know, we will see this quarry upgrade and start producing more, which is only ever going to be a good thing. I am wondering if it would be an idea to bring some bricks down to Castle Bar. Now, in saying that, traffic around Castle Bar is diabolical. It's really, really bad. I don't quite know what to do about this. But it would give us, ooh, I'm pretty sure a plane just like that actually does fly out of Belfast. Oh, hello. That's, ooh, the BR-185. That could be good. That's another electric train. It might be amazing. That's a new tram. Okay. We've got new boxcars. I realize it's just turned, it's the year 2000. We've got new boxcars, new flat cars, new tank cars. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff right there. Now, bricks in Castle Bar seem to be focused on this little spot right here. So because we have this, so Castle Bar bricks to city, what is that line? So that's coming over from Mullingar. That is one of the, that's one of the old train lines that used to bring those down here. Why don't we just use this back road that we have? I mean, it's a little busy here, especially here. It's quite busy, but I figure if we were to, yeah, this roundabout's the reason this is busy. This roundabout isn't actually working properly. If you notice, there's this outside lane can go left and right. That is essentially the problem with this. So if I was to change out these adjoining roads for this kind of road, that should solve that problem. And it does give us dedicated turning lanes now. So that should mean that roundabout moves again, which is what we're looking for. I think we give this a shot. I think we no longer say Mullingar. I think we go up here, and I think we say pick up some bricks up here in Lower Alma, and I think that'll be good. I also am very tempted to say that it should use this road here, but we'll just let it do its thing and hopefully not block everything for us right now. Yeah, no, I think that's solid. I think that's what we do. I think we manage these vehicles. The rate right now is 47. We swap these guys out for these guys, which gives us a rate of 98. And that is admittedly got a bit more traffic on these roads. It's a hell of a journey, but I mean, it's also kind of avoiding the bulk of the Castle Bar traffic because that line is now, I would assume, yeah, sort of going up and around here now. So that's actually going to be pretty good for us. And it should encourage this place to want to upgrade just that little bit sooner, which is going to be very exciting. So just before we wrap things up for today, I want to take a look at this train. We're not going to be doing anything with it, but it is, well, it doesn't have the power of the 103. That's something to keep in mind. It's still less, well, it's actually more than half of the power of the 103. The tractive effort is not that much less though, which is pretty good. So this thing, I mean, it's also slower. It does 99 miles per hour, but this thing might be pretty good for us. When it comes to cargo, we are currently dealing with flat cars that cap out at 75 miles per hour. We can now go up to 99 with a lot more capacity as well, which is kind of a really big deal. So we can potentially get our cargo trains up to higher speeds. I don't know that we're ever necessarily going to do that. I mean, maybe this one, the cargo line that's moving the machines up to Newcastle and Edinburgh, it has a pretty long journey ahead of itself. It will slow down to cross this bridge, and I'm never going to upgrade this bridge because I love the look of this bridge. So that's always going to be a thing. And it will slow down for this bridge as well, which I will upgrade. Ooh, look at you. Oh, that's so cool looking. What's the top speed on you? 199. Well, we're not going to go for a fancy bridge in here because that doesn't really make sense, but that's a very cool looking bridge is what that was. That was a very cool looking bridge. Could I get it here? That is a thing. Do I want to do a fancy bridge here? Do we need to do we probably don't need to do a fancy bridge out here. I want to put a fancy bridge in one of my towns though. Doesn't, I think Mullingar has like a bridge somewhere. Belfast, I don't think has any cool looking bridges. I think, no, it wasn't Mullingar. It was it Galway? Yes. Now Galway has this in here. Can I do that? Does that look silly for the middle of Galway? It kind of does, doesn't it? But it's also kind of cool. So I'm going to do that just because it looks interesting. In here as well, we could arguably, well, we could just upgrade it to like a modern bridge if we wanted to. What about this? Is that too low? Oh yeah, that's too low. That's definitely too low. I don't think this really fits. I think that's maybe a bit much. I think we just do this. I think we do just upgrade it to a more modern bridge. This one can stay because it actually looks quite cool, but this one can be upgraded just because I just wanted this new bridge in here. I'm not going to lie. It just looks really good. Oh, so I may have lied, as is tradition. It turns out Dundalk wants a really good number of bricks, and it's quite limited to where they want the bricks, like right in the middle here, right around this guy. So I think we're going to do one more brick line just to make sure that we're in a really good spot. I think we're going to expand this guy out a little bit, and that'll be fine. You're going to Terminal 1. You're going to Terminal 2. We will need to upgrade those vehicles at some point, but the goal here is going to be Terminal 3, going all the way out to this guy, making sure that this is on Terminal 3 here as well. This is road cargo. It is Dundalk, and it's bricks to city is what it's going to be. It's also going to be an orange line because that is the color that we use for Dundalk, and that should put us in a pretty good spot. Now, what I would like to do is just take a look at that line and see what it does. So it does come down this road, which is all totally fine. It comes down here, which is totally fine. None of the roads that it's using are crazy busy, which is really, really good news for us. So that's going to be a pretty straight shot. This road's kind of busy, but I think this roundabout will filter that through eventually. So we should be good to just make this a thing. Now, Dundalk happened to that's such a long way to go. 128 is the demand on that line. So let me go and buy, let's say 4 of these to start with. Let's paint them that color, and Dundalk bricks to city is now looking at 113. We'll put one more vehicle on there, and that'll give us all the coverage that we need. And that should mean that this guy will get a third consumer and should start to level up, which should mean that the quarry is going to start producing a bunch more, and that should then put us in a really good spot. So all things considered, we kind of have this industry up and running again, which makes me really, really happy. I'm also thinking, just because I'm going to be cheeky about it, I am going to take out these traffic lights because I just don't think we need them. I'm also curious, what line are you on? Belfast Airport Train Link. So is that a popular line? It is a little bit. Let's manage those vehicles. Let's swap them out for the Volvo. So that'll give us slightly more capacity without being all that much more expensive. And that'll hopefully make that line a little bit more appealing as well. And there we go. The Oma construction materials plant is now level 2 once again, which should mean that production down this way is going to increase, which means more stone for these trucks, which means more money from this line, which is admittedly not really making much right now. It has a rate of 318. This guy is going to be producing more than that in no time at all, I am sure. But this makes me happy. This makes me happy. Having this thing up and running again makes me really, really happy. I also took a second to try and improve some of the traffic situation here by building a little back road, which my Castle Bar trucks are actually using. So we basically have a way for those vehicles to avoid the traffic problems in here. And also having that road will take some of the traffic anyway, so that should generally get rid of the traffic problems that we have down here. But this makes me really happy. Also, the fact that we're making money makes me really happy. If we look at our lines right now, we do have a few that are losing money. The Sheffield Planks Machines line, for example, is going to be losing money because the rate on this line is 709. I am pretty sure the production of planks is, well, actually the production of planks is probably close to 800. We might want to look at that at some points. The boats are losing money. That's fine. Limerick Food to Belfast losing money. We'll get there. Mullingar Fuel to City, Oil to Plastic. Those lines are held back by massive amounts of traffic around Mullingar. Leeds Bricks to City. I mean, we kind of, you know, we know we have a problem there. It's not perfect is what I'm getting at. Things are not perfect, but on the other side of things, we have a ton of money from this guy. Still a ton of money here. Somehow London Belfast is making a ton of money. Manchester Glasgow is making a ton of money. London Steel to Machines, also a ton of money. We're doing all right is what we're doing. We even have Edinburgh Planks Tools City down here with these little old trucks still making a ton of money. So we are now making money again. I feel like we've done nothing but spend billions of dollars for the past few episodes, but it's nice that we're sort of rebuilding things and fixing some of the problems that we've had. It's a nice feeling that we might be able to ever so slightly turn this around a little bit and get back to a place where we are making good money. I'm not really too sure what the solution is for all of this, admittedly. I'm not gonna lie. I do think some of these vehicles could do with an upgrade, just on principle. But, yeah, I mean, well, you know, I say I don't know what the solution is. The solution ultimately is more connections between the different cities. So, for example, what we've done here with this little back road, it is helping traffic here very slowly. It is giving my trucks more options. I think just giving people more options for how they get around is, I mean, potentially going to be all we can do. We might also want to look at how traffic goes into Castle Bar here, but that's something we can do another time, because that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.